Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I wanted to talk a little bit more about all the destabilization that we're seeing going on, and I believe that is exactly what we're seeing. It's not, there's a chance that some of it is just randomness. It's just people, they're fed up with the world. It's been a crummy 2 or 3 years. Everything is just failing and they're miserable, and so they're just acting out. But I believe that a lot of it is probably being orchestrated in some form or fashion. Was reading this morning when I got up, looking at the news. Since the first of the year, we're only into week 3, okay? Since the first of the year, there have been recorded 33 mass shootings here in the United States. Now, I understand some of you are going to jump in and say, yeah, but it's how they calculate that. You know, if there's more than like 2 people shot, it's considered like a mass shooting. So I get that. But there has been a lot over the last 12 months. There's been a lot of that kind of stuff. It's to the point that it's not as sensational anymore. And I'm not downplaying the fact that there are victims and there are legitimate people that get shot and killed and lives ruined. I'm simply saying that it's become such a common occurrence that, you know, it only gets a little bit of airplay and then it's on to the next thing and the next shooting. I don't think it just means that, well, guns are bad and, you know, they're more available and so that's why people are doing that. Not at all. I think it's a clear sign of just the destabilization of our society. We're seeing people really have some serious mental breakdowns. And we just don't know exactly how much it's being encouraged privately, or it's possible stuff, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, different things that are encouraging this also. Other things I've noticed, just noticing things, a lot of disruptions to energy. This morning, Pakistan, the entire country is on a blackout. They have, you know, their grid's completely down there. I haven't seen yet as to the reason that they are saying it's happening. I do think it's interesting that just this past week at the Davos meeting, there was photographs taken of Klaus Schwab and the head of Pakistan meeting together. And then all of a sudden, you know, this week starts off with Pakistan in the dark. They're having a lot of disruptions of their cellular service and internet. And it looks like that there's just no electricity. We've had, of course, the known attacks here on our own grid. Some of them were small. Some of them did cause some grid failure. We're seeing increased levels of just violence in general. We're seeing, it doesn't take that long. If you want to look online, there's tons of videos. And I don't think the argument that, well, there's just more people out there taking videos is simply the case. There's just absolutely more violence happening. We're seeing more degeneracy in our society. The amount of people that are just strung out on drugs and homeless and living in absolute filth, that's increasing. I think this is all part of where Yeshua talks about the days of Noah, where people are just, and if you dig into that, where he talks about that, it's not so much that man is super, super wicked, which he is, but that there's super, super wicked and bad things happening, and man just isn't really paying attention, doesn't care. You know, they're still drinking and marrying and giving way to marriage and still just living life as normal. And I think that that's a very good description of what's happening right now. Is we're watching all of these awful things go on in our society. We're watching the attack and really consumption of innocence in childhood. Just a few months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, it was kind of a big deal online if someone showed a video that they were able to capture. Many of you know this, of, one of these drag queen shows for children. I mean, it would just be all over the internet. And yet now, they're happening at a very common and regular pace. And there's not as much outcry. I mean, there is, but it's not as sensational. Why? Because it's happening all the time, all over. All of this ridiculous ideas of gender and children and pronouns and all this kind of stuff. It's happening on a regular basis. And most of the population is just kind of, going on with their life. They figure, I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I'll just keep going to my 9 to 5, paying my bills, doing the things that, society tells me I have to do to be a productive part of society. And that's about it. And I think that is, in my personal opinion, that's all this is, my personal opinion, one of the biggest signs that we are in kind of those last days, where all of these things are happening, this destabilizing of our society, this breakdown of our society. And for the most part, most of the people that are part of that society don't really seem to care. They're just going about their business. There's no outcry. There's no, people are fed up and they're speaking out. They're, I'm not going to go to work as long as this kind of garbage is going on. I'm not going to tolerate this. We're going to go and we're going to clean up the streets of all this filth and garbage. No, we just step over it and keep moving on. Because of this, I mean, there's definitely the spiritual side of this. But it also, for me personally, is encouraging me and kind of sending bells and whistles and flags and all that kind of stuff off in my head that we need to be getting ourselves more ready. That this pattern that we're watching, it's not gonna get any better. It's not gonna just one day we wake up and everything is fine and we've kind of gone back to normal. It doesn't typically happen that way. And so we need to kind of get ourselves ready more and more every day. Realizing that society around us, it's kind of taken a nosedive, a big nosedive. And typically when it goes down this path, there's no turning back until something big and dramatic happens. And what that is, I can't tell you, but I can tell you this, that we're seeing the patterns and the signs all around us. We have to continually be working and advancing our own preparations, strengthening our minds, strengthening our bodies, getting out there and getting as healthy as we can, making sure that we and our neighbors around us, the people within our inner circle, are as ready as possible to become as self-sufficient as possible. Because the more you're relying on the system, the more it's going to bring you down with it when it goes to fail. Humans have a real bad time, a real hard time of recognizing what's going on around them and then getting ready, because they know that all these things are happening. There's a good chance that something bad's going to happen. something about us. We're bad about that. And so don't let yourself fall into that category. Take notice of all of this that's happening and realize that it's just more signs. It's more signs that we very possibly run out the extent and the pinnacle of our society. And we're watching it now kind of in that tailspin cycle. And what that means is that it's going to get a lot worse. That we've really kind of only begun in seeing the amount of degeneracy and violence and mental illness and all these other problems going on. And that's why, a big reason why, that I'm on here all the time, trying to get people to wake up and get ready. Realize that these times are worsening, and to not become so desensitized to the stuff that's happening that we don't notice it, that we notice it and say, well, it's just more bad stuff. It's just more bad stuff, and just keep moving along. That when we see it, we realize what's going on, that it encourages us to get ourselves more ready. Of course, the most important readiness that you can become is spiritually ready, because everything you're seeing happening around you, it is spiritual warfare. And that, my friend, is definitely going to get worse. It's time to get your houses in order. It's time to prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.